Hey everyone, welcome in the garage, Archer's Garage, and we're going to take a look at this thing today. We're going to try to restore it. It looks a little rough. I know it's got some issues with the paint and what have you, but I like these machines. These were built very well. I dug out a set of tires for it. I already cleaned it. As you know, it's pretty clean, right? So we're going to take a closer look. Let's get started on the motor. We're going to see if the motor's any good. And if all that works out and starts running well again, it actually looks like it's still a little dirty, you know. But if everything works out good, then we'll just do a light sanding, right, wire wheel. This belt looks good. And we'll go over a few things, and we'll throw a little bit of primer on it, high build primer, let that dry, and we'll just kind of shoot the paint on. And we'll make it nice again. It needs cables, it needs a bunch of stuff, but we're going to find out what else it needs in a little bit. I like these old machines. I really do. They're nice. They're worthy of my effort. I have a lot out there that are probably better than this, and I could get started on right now. But as I was cleaning up, I pulled this one to the side, and I figured, you know what? Why not? Let's get started on it. Even if I grab another one while I'm waiting for paint to dry, I can get started on this. Let's pull it apart. It doesn't take that long. We're going to go over the whole thing, get it all good and scuffed, and then we'll bring it out. I like to use this tool a lot with the Scotch-Brite pad on it. That helps me get down in there a little bit more, feather everything, and then a wire wheel, as you saw, and plus a small cartridge type wire wheel I'll put on like drill or whatever to get into here and a few other spots. Now we can bring it out. We're going to give it a bath in the final cleaning. All right, it's been degreased. What's on there now is just a light acid. It's my body acid, metal prep. Works good. You've seen me use it before if you guys have been watching. Just leave it now. Right? I'm gonna go do a few other things. We'll come back and rinse it off. And I do want to check underneath these wheels though one more time. I don't remember. It's not bad. Okay, so what you're seeing is some of the white. That's the precipitate from the acid. It did its job. It removed some of the rust. It etched everything actually, and then it's combining with it. It's sealing it, turns it into something more neutral, and it has zinc in it, so it leaves a zinc compound, which it kind of wipes off. It's pretty much on there. You paint right over it. It's direct to metal, DTM. So what we're going to do is I'm going to spray this down a little bit of thinner and wipe it. It blew it once, and then we'll blow it again, and then I'm going to paint the engine. The engine should run, but I'm going to paint the engine because it's a little easier. I don't want to risk taking the engine off or anything because the bolts will probably break. At least one. That's all it takes. And then we'll put a little primer on and let that dry. Missed a little spot there. And then we'll put the blade on, and we'll probably start it. Right? Get oil in it and stuff. So just a quick sand. A little paint on the motor. It's all dry. And I went and ate dinner and a few other things. Quick sand, good cleaning. All right, it's basically all ready. And shoot a little bit of primer on it now. It's a heavy build, high build primer. And then I'm going to leave it for the night. I'm tired. So it'll have a chance to really dry. And we're not going to prime the whole thing with a spider. I'm not going to prime the whole thing. I'm just going to blotch prime it. Let's see. So I'm going to use some high build. You don't need to get it everywhere. And this is real close to the correct color, so. So it won't be hard to paint over it. Pretty thick, this one. Well, that's basically it. Yeah, I don't think we'll need to do much more. It levels. You can get enough on without a run. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, I'm going to clean up. I think it'll be dry enough to blow color on. Definitely. If I can stay up a little bit longer and stay with it, this will dry in about a half hour and then I'll blow color on it. Alright, so I'm just fooling around a little bit. I know it's late and all, but I used to do a lot of body work, and so this is like pipe insulation, and it's great because I could put my auto body, sticky back sandpaper on. I'm gonna guess this is 100 and something grit, maybe 2 something grit. I don't remember. It's kind of fine. It's probably about 240. I don't care. I just feel it with my fingers, and I went over and sanded it, and it came real nice. There's some blemishes in here, though, I'd like to get rid of. So that knocked down all the nonsense. Most of it's fine. Most of it's ready to go. But I just want to try. I used to use this spot putty, and this requires a hardener. This doesn't require a hardener, but I want to try it with a hardener. So I'm going to go schmooze that on, and we'll see what happens. I like the way it goes on with the spatula. The plastic thing. I don't know, the spreader. Spatula. I don't know if it dries any faster. I think it does. I definitely think it dries a little faster. It works. It flows really nice. It does a nice job. I'm gonna leave it for now. I just hit a few areas all the way around, and especially with the primer that I put down, it works really, really, really well. And on these red machines, it's going to be real easy to cover. I'll sand it later. We'll see how it comes out then.
The next day.
I'm absolutely loving this product, the Bondo glazing spot putty. So it seems to work really well. It's just the perfect consistency. And I think adding in last night, because it's the next day, I think adding in that little bit of hardener really helped. Although I didn't need it, but it just dries so nice. I think this is maybe 240 or 320. And I have it on a curved piece. This was pipe insulation, probably like 2-inch or whatever, industrial pipe insulation. It works really well for something like this. And we're just going to remove enough to illuminate those spots. Oh yeah. Could use a flat piece here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Between this and the primer I put underneath, it's doing an excellent job. And I let it dry overnight, so that's even better. The product just gets harder. And another nice thing too about the spot glaze is there's no skinning, right? Not like Bondo or fillers that are like that. There's no skinning. So you can just get right to sanding. It's not loading up my sandpaper. Yeah, that's great. That's all we need. On the back is a slightly coarser grit. That could be 100, I think. I forget. I'd have to go look at my rolls again. But I usually leave these out just for this purpose. All right, that's about it, guys. I'm going to just do a little bit more sanding. And then I'm going to wipe it off. Maybe use a cotton rag or a wet rag or something, and then I blow it. Just with clean water. You can add a touch of soap. It'll help reduce, Dawn detergent, dish detergent of some kind. It'll help reduce any chances of like grease or whatever being on there from your fingers. Not that it really matters. It's a lawnmower, but these are practices that you learn in auto body. Right? It's a good way to learn auto body if you want to learn a little bit more about auto body work. I should probably do a series on refinishing. I have some of my older videos that I did like this, but the camera was crap, the audio was crap, the lighting was crap. I'm crap. Yeah, that's way better than anybody would ever do. But I like it. It's fun. I like these old Craftsmans. These bodies are so good. This is a 22-inch, and I'm willing to bet I have another one over there. It's not 22, I don't think. but it's black. It's the same thing. It hasn't sold, right? There's no interest in it. People know what they're looking at, right? But they like red, and I'm willing to bet that I put this up for sale, it'll be gone within the week because it's red. So, because it happens a lot, I pretty much know that that's going to happen. All right, we'll be back in a bit. We'll get some paint on it. And that's what it looks like. I'm going to run a little tape around the base of the motor. A lot of times I don't do that because I don't have to, right? I'm not putting that much paint on. And I'll just use a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard as a blind and put it over things. And in case if you get a little overspray, right? It's just a lawnmower. This looks good. Let me just run that tape and I'll put some paint on it. And this will be done for the day. All right, for this one, I'm going to use International Harvester. It's a little darker, but it seems to be closer to the color. And we should see. It's a Rust-Oleum Farm and Implement paint. And I'm not going to record the whole thing because I don't want the spray getting on the camera lens. So we're just going to start off at the bottom. Yeah, it's much closer. And again, it's not going to need a lot of paint. Yeah, that's pretty much the color. Yep. Real close. Pull it back a little bit. And I didn't even blow it off, I forgot. Because it doesn't really matter, right? It's a lawnmower, so don't get caught up in making everything mint. Just don't go too fast. It's not going to be perfect. I might come back and give it another quick coat after it dries, and then I can see the difference. Alright, I'm going to go do the other side, and we'll leave it sit. It'll take less than a can, probably about a quarter of a can to do it. And that's what it looks like, right? It looks nice. Now, I like to leave the stickers and everything because it breaks up the surface. See, this area here was really bad. Now it just looks like some scratches were painted over, right? That's what you want, right? You know, I can make it perfect, but let's go look at the other side. It needs a little bit more paint, but it will run. This paint stays wet for a long time. That's how it self-levels. So if you put too much on, you're just going to make a run. See, there was a lot of nasties over here, and it just needs a little bit more paint, just a touch. Now, if you wanted to, when it tacks up, you could put clear on it, fast dry clear, and it will dry even faster. Be careful though, you can have problems with that. I know what I do. Another thing you could do is you could mist it, right, and it'll create a texture which will break up the surface. You know, if it's too shiny, it's going to look cheesy, right? It looks great, and if you lay a thick coat of clear on top and it's kind of satin, but it depends on what effect you're going for. Another nice thing is a hammer tone finish. You could, and if you didn't like the color of the hammer tone, you could put the hammer tone down first and then let it dry and then lay the color coat on top, right? And then you wouldn't see any blemishes. But it's a lawnmower. People just want to see that it's clean, it's working properly, looks like it was well taken care of. And I don't tell stories, right? I did the handle too. Right? People ask me why are you getting rid of it or whatever. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm selling it. This is what I do. Okay. I renew, I refresh, I restore, I repair. And they go, oh, can you service my lawnmower? You know, I don't come up with some, as they used to say, cock and bull story. I just don't do that, right? Why? You can't keep track of your own lies and then you act weird, right? People always look different, right? Whenever they're kind of lying and telling a story, you can tell, especially when you're a New Yorker. I don't know why New Yorkers blow smoke up other New Yorkers' butts. I mean, you think you would be able to tell, and most people can. There needs a little bit over here. I just tell them what I do, right? Like, oh, can you do this for me now? Yeah, sure. All right, we'll be back later. All right, just a first look back. It's a few days later, because that's why how I like to do these. You know, over time. You know, I'm not like in a rush for these kinds of work, and I haven't spent much time on it so far. Let's get back to work on it. Just put it back up on my table. Took the tape off.
Eventually.
I'll bring it in the back and I'll let it smoke. All better.